Welcome to our video on understanding voluntary departure and transfers in immigration cases. In this video, we're going to dive into key points on this topic, helping you grasp what's at stake. Let's get started. Let's start by outlining today's agenda, which will guide us through the topic. We'll first explore what voluntary departure means. Then, we'll differentiate between being released and transferred. We'll also address potential destinations and why they're chosen. Finally, we'll focus on important considerations to keep in mind if your loved one is facing this situation. Let's first understand what voluntary departure is. It's a provision that enables an individual to leave the United States voluntarily, rather than being subjected to formal deportation. But this leeway comes with specific conditions, such as a deadline within which they must depart. Meeting this deadline is crucial, and failing to do so can lead to serious consequences. These can include being banned from re-entering the U.S. for a certain period, or being classified as deported. Now let's distinguish between being released and transferred. Being released often means that an individual is no longer detained. However, it doesn't necessarily mean they are free to remain in the United States. They might just be allowed time to prepare for their departure. On the other hand, a transfer generally involves moving to another detention center. This move could be for various reasons, including further processing or arrangements for departure. Transfers could also mean being taken to an airport or another location specializing in deportation. So where is the individual going, and why? The answer depends heavily on their specific circumstances. They might be headed to their home country if they are scheduled to leave. Alternatively, they could be transferred to another detention facility for further processing or to make departure arrangements. If the individual is from Mexico, they might be transported to Mexico at government expense. In some cases, there's a program called voluntary return under safeguard, where individuals are returned without it counting as deportation. These pathways significantly influence the next steps, so understanding his situation is vital. It's time for a quick quiz to test your understanding. What is the primary difference between being released and transferred in immigration cases? Here are your options. A. Release allows staying in the U.S. indefinitely. B. Transfer always means deportation. C. Release doesn't mean they can stay indefinitely. D. Transfer involves moving out of detention permanently. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We'll discuss the correct answer in the next section. The correct answer is C. Release doesn't mean they can stay indefinitely. It only means they're not detained any longer, possibly to give them time to prepare for their departure. Let's now focus on important considerations. Firstly, adhering to the specified departure date is vital to comply with the voluntary departure order. Next, documentation is crucial. Make sure the voluntary departure document is signed and processed, as this proves legal and timely departure. Lastly, seeking legal advice is essential. An immigration attorney can provide the necessary guidance and clarity about rights and options, making this process more navigable. To wrap things up, let's revisit the key points. Voluntary departure is a privilege, not a permanent solution. Being released doesn't equate to being allowed to stay indefinitely, and transfers can indicate various intended destinations. Understanding these details is key to navigating the process. Finally, significant considerations include following the departure deadline, ensuring documentation is in order, and seeking proper legal advice. Thank you for watching this video on voluntary departure and transfers in immigration cases. If you found this information useful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts and any questions in the comments below. Until next time.